Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a day where nothing was technically wrong, but everything felt heavy? That creeping fog, the low mood, the zero motivation, and the worst part, you can't always explain why. In this masterclass, we're not going to sugarcoat it. We're going to talk about how to stabilize when the seasons shift, when your energy dips, and when your brain wants to check out. Because if you want to do more, be more, have more, and serve more, you need the inner tools to regulate, to reset, and reignite. Not just when it's easy, but also when it's hard. So this masterclass theme is mind over mood, staying steady in stormy seasons. I want to start by telling you a story. A few years ago, I noticed a pattern. Every October, I would slow down, but not in a good way. I felt scattered. I felt like I had lots to do, tired and disconnected. The motivation that had powered me through September would just fade. At first, I blamed my to-do list, then my sleep, then my caffeine intake. But deep down, I knew this was more than surface level. It was seasonal, it was emotional, it was internal. I was letting the darker days dictate my mindset. I was waking up and responding to my feelings instead of my focus. And that's when I made a change. Instead of waiting for motivation, I created rhythm. Instead of chasing inspiration, I created structure. I stopped letting my mood make my morning and started letting my morning reshape my mood. That's what Boss Your Morning is all about. Here's what we're going to dive into. Number one, why mood dips are natural this season and what to do about them. Number two, the difference between emotional reaction and emotional regulation. We're also going to look at how to stay steady when your motivation drops. Some practical tools to lift your energy without burning out. And then we're going to do a guided visualization to reconnect with your inner power. By the end of this masterclass, you'll have a stronger, calmer inner foundation to carry into November. Let's go. So let's get something out the way. It's not just the weather changing, it's you. Many people experience a real shift in their emotional well-being as the clocks go back and the evenings draw in earlier. This is more than winter slump. It's linked to something called Seasonal Affective Disorder, or SAD for short, a type of depression related to the change in seasons. So here's 5 quick facts to help you understand it. Number one, SAD is triggered by reduced exposure to sunlight, which disrupts your internal clock and hormone production. It decreases serotonin, a brain chemical that affects mood, appetite, and sleep, leading to low mood and fatigue. Melatonin production increases, making you feel sleepy, sluggish, and disconnected. And it affects 1 in 3 people in the UK to varying degrees, especially from October through to March. Symptoms include low energy, difficulty concentrating, social withdrawal, and irritability. Sound familiar? Knowing this helps you meet yourself with compassion and not criticism. When the season changes, you don't need to push harder. You need to get smarter about how you care for yourself. It's normal to feel off in October. The days are shorter, the light changes, sleep-wake cycles start shifting, and your brain produces less serotonin. And add to that the back to school pressures if you're a parent, and the build up to the end of the year chaos, dark evenings, the evening drawing in quicker. You've got a recipe there for stress, fatigue, and overwhelm. But this isn't a problem, it's a signal. And the key is not to ignore the signal or to push through. The key is to respond, not react. When we talk about emotional regulation, we're not talking about ignoring how you feel. We're talking about creating rituals that anchor you when the waves come. Now, let's get real about how this shows up in everyday life. Let me show you what most people do. Wake up late, check their phone, compare their life to someone else's, feel overwhelmed, rush to catch up, caffeine spike, cortisol spike, mood crash by 11. Is that your routine? It may be similar to a vast percentage of the population. But when you start your day in reaction mode, you're giving your power away before you've even brushed your teeth. This is a form of self-sabotage. And if that resonates, go back and watch last month's masterclass, where we went deep on the 5 hidden habits that knock us off track. And here's the thing, most people don't realize your emotional reaction doesn't just affect you, it creates a ripple effect, especially at home or in the workplace. When we start our day in a spiral of stress or irritability, it leaks into our parenting, our partnerships, our leadership, our tone of voice. The people around us feel when we are dysregulated, and often they mirror it back to us. But the same is true in reverse. When you start your day grounded, with intention, with calm, with clarity, that energy spreads too. You set the emotional tone of the room you walk into. And that's the power of emotional regulation. You're not pretending things are fine, you're choosing not to let your first feeling control your whole day. But this masterclass is about what to do now. So let's talk about what helps. Let's talk about how to stay steady when your motivation drops, because it will. That's normal. Motivation is a feeling and feelings fluctuate. What we do is rhythm, ritual, something to lean on when we don't feel like showing up. You already know that Boss Your Morning is an app that's built with 6 core habits that we practice every day. Meditation, gratitude, affirmation, visualisation, inspiration, and action. You don't need to do them all every day perfectly, but you do need a rhythm. When motivation drops, routine saves you. And here are 3 simple things that can radically shift your day. Number 1, start with stillness. Even 3 minutes of breath work or silence helps your brain shift from reactivity to presence. Number 2, pick a power question. Instead of reaching for your phone, ask yourself, who do I want to be today? Or what does future me need from me this morning? Ask yourself the question. Number 3, take a micro win. 1 aligned action, 1 promise kept, 1 check-in with your body or your brain or your breath. Progress builds identity. So let's pause here because this one is huge. Micro wins aren't just nice moments, they're neurological upgrades. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, no matter how small, your brain logs the evidence. I said I would, and I did. That builds what's called self-efficacy, your belief in your ability to follow through. And that belief shapes your identity. Your brain is always looking for proof, proof that you will or proof that you won't. So when you get up, when your alarm goes off, take 3 deep breaths before reacting, go for that 15-minute walk you promised yourself. You're not just changing your morning, you're building neural pathways of trust. Trust in your habits, trust in your world, trust in you. Over time, those pathways become your new normal. Not I try to, but I'm someone who does. So don't underestimate the micro win. It's how you turn belief into biology. Even when the days are darker, those micro moments light the way. Whilst we're on the topic of tips backed by neuroscience, let me give you 3 more quick wins, all linked to the Boss Your Morning routine, and they're grounded in brain science. Journaling for just 5 minutes reduces your kind of amygdala activity. That's the fight or flight fear center. Gratitude increases dopamine and serotonin, giving your brain the calm and lasting lift. Meditation builds the grey matter in the brain and improves your emotional regulation. You don't need a new life, you just need new habits. And science shows us that even small, consistent habits compound over time into lasting transformation, and they begin the moment you decide to start with you. So let's look at some practical tools to lift your energy without burning out. Let's get honest for a second. It's nearly November, and for many of us, that brings a creeping sense of urgency. We glance at our calendar and think, where did the year go? Am I where I wanted to be? Have I done enough this year? The mental load, especially combined with darker evenings and seasonal energy dips, can feel overwhelming. But here's the truth. Most goals aren't missed because of lack of effort. They're missed because of a lack of clarity, structure, and stamina. And that's why this section matters. As we move into the final stretch of the year, it's natural for your brain to start scanning your goals and asking, have I done enough? The urgency can either create a focus or panic. Let's take a breath and remember, you don't need to finish the year in a sprint, but you do need to finish it with intention. Here are 3 energy-aware, burnout-free strategies to help you finish the year strong. Number 1, swap outcome obsession for process planning. Instead of panicking about the big goal you haven't hit yet, ask, what is the system I need to finish the year well? According to James Clear, Atomic Habits, I'm obsessed by that book. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So focus on your daily inputs, not the end of year pressure. My second top tip is plan backwards from your last working day. What do you want to have completed by, say, mid-December? Now map out the 6 weeks leading up to that and give yourself deadlines that feel realistic and add buffers. Psychologist Dr. Heidi Grant, a researcher, leadership coach, and author known for her work on goal setting and motivation, she says when goals feel vague, the brain delays action. When goals are structured and time-bound, we lean in. So once you've mapped out those final 6 weeks, stick to the plan. This is where you prove to yourself that your words mean something, that when you commit to something in your calendar, you follow through. Remember that we talked about earlier, micro wins shape our identity. Every time you stick to your plan, even in small ways, you've reinforced the narrative that you are someone who follows through. And that's especially important now in these final months of the year, because when January rolls around and you set new goals for 2026, your inner voice won't say, you've tried this before. It will say, you've got this, you've proven it. Finishing the year with clarity and consistency doesn't just close the chapter well. It becomes a springboard of how we'll start the next one. This isn't about being rigid, it's about being reliable to yourself. It's easy to feel motivated when you set the goal. The real work is in the middle, when motivation fades and your nervous system looks for the quickest way out. That's when your mapped out plan becomes your anchor. Instead of asking, do I feel like it today? You simply ask, what did I say I would do? That's how we finish the year strong, not by working harder, but by working wiser. And finally, protect your recovery time. Burnout doesn't just come from doing too much, it comes from not resting enough. As energy dips with the season, rest becomes strategy. Build in recovery rituals like have a digital detox, have an early night, have some time in nature, or journaling. You don't need to overhaul everything. In fact, trying to do that now when your energy is naturally lower is what leads to burnout. It leads to shame and starting again in January with the same old story. Instead, we're going to be talking about how to reset with purpose in next month's masterclass, focusing on how to clear mental clutter, simplify your focus, and build sustainable momentum into 2026. But for now, here's a story that illustrates this idea. Let me share something personal with you. Earlier this year, we received some devastating family news. It knocked the wind out of my sails. I was wearing a mask that told everyone I was fine, but inside my heart was heavy, my focus was dulled, and my mind was constantly elsewhere. I showed up, but I wasn't fully there. And over time, showing up at 80% instead of the 110% that my goals required simply wasn't enough to stay on track. I was less effective, less enthusiastic, and more withdrawn from my work, my vision, and even my own well-being. My heart is still heavy, but we all learn to navigate, accept, and refocus. And that refocus started with me choosing to slow down, reset my goals, and reevaluate my priorities. So earlier this year, I sat down to map out all the tasks, commitments, and goals I had set for 2025. And do you know what I realized? There simply weren't enough hours in the day. Not even close. I had huge goals, big dreams, 5-year visions, and all that energy and passion in the world. But when I honestly looked at what I committed myself to in my calendar, it was unachievable. I couldn't do it all, not without burning out. So I scaled back. Importantly, I didn't scale back my ambition. That's still just as big. But the strategy for how I get there, instead of trying to force everything through by December, I simplified, prioritized, created a sustainable plan that allowed for progress and recovery. Because success without energy isn't really success. And I share that because I know some of you are probably feeling the same. Stretched thin, tired, wondering how to get it all done. And here's what I learned. Your vision can stay big, but your strategy needs to match your capacity. And when you work with your energy, not against it, you don't lose momentum, you build trust with yourself. Why? Because simplicity scales and complexity burns. You just need to stay consistent with small moves and protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because do you know what? It does. Let's get comfortable. I'd like you to put your feet flat on the floor, hands relaxed on your lap. We're going to do a visualisation exercise. I'd like you to close your eyes gently if that feels comfortable for you. If not, take a low gaze. Let's take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and let it out slowly through your mouth. Again, deep breath in and out. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw unclench. Let the weight of the day melt away for just a moment. Now, I want you to imagine it's Saturday, 20th of December, the final work day before the festive season begins. You're done. The goals you set for yourself, they're complete. Not because it was easy, but because you stayed consistent. You showed up, even on the days you didn't feel like it. You didn't just survive the end of the year, you bossed it. Notice how you feel. Relaxed. A accomplished, proud. There's space in your mind, calm in your body, and that has changed the way you see yourself and feel inside. You have inner calm, inner confidence. You know you can trust yourself. You are empowered by your own actions. Now picture yourself being wholly present with your friends and your family over the festive period, with all your goals complete, with a sense of pride, relief, and completeness, that the balance of work and life is now your reality. You're able to spend social time with the people you love, having fun, being fully present, creating happy memories, relaxed and content. Then picture the in-between days, between Christmas and New Year. Still, reflective and peaceful. You spend that time not just recovering, but resetting. And now it's the 1st of January. You're not scrambling for a resolution. You don't need a new plan. You already started showing up months ago. And that version of you, they're ready. Breathe that in. This is who you are when you choose to protect your peace, commit to your plan, and honour your energy. When you're ready, open your eyes. Let's take a moment to see what we've covered. So we acknowledged the seasons shift and how shorter days, lower light, and rising pressure can affect our mood, our energy, our focus. We explored the difference between emotional reaction and emotional regulation, and how small daily choices made first thing in the morning can really shape our entire day. We unpacked the Boss Your Morning framework and the neuroscience behind micro wins, habit loops, and identity-based change, showing you how small, consistent actions lead to major mindset shifts. You've learned science-backed strategies to boost your mood, protect your energy, and finish the year without burnout by prioritizing rhythm over motivation and clarity over chaos. You experienced a guided visualisation to connect with the version of you who ends this year with calm confidence and starts the new year already ahead of the game. And now you have tools to regulate, refocus, and reignite, no matter what life throws at you. If this landed with you, I want to invite you to take the next step. Download the Boss Your Morning app from the App Store. Start today and commit to working on yourself every day. My top 10 book recommendations are inside the app, a mix of inspiration, mindset, education, and practical strategies that I know will help you stay on track. So if you want more support, I'd love to link arms with you. You can also book a one-to-one strategy session if you need help and support in how to end that year strong and move into the following year by using that as a springboard to success in the new year. So do you know what, guys? I hope that this session has helped you get unstuck and move forward. And I hope to see you inside the Boss Your Morning VIP community, because you are a very important person and it's time to prioritize yourself. As a thank you, and because I know this works, use the code TESSA, TESSA 30 for a free 30-day trial. That's how much I value you and your dedication to yourself and your year. Because, as James Clear said, every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. Let's finish strong. Let's build trust. Let's boss your morning. See you next time.